Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Anna and today I wanted to talk about healing. We live in a world where for the first time in history, it is normal to take care of your mental health, to put yourself first, to experiment with a lot of different therapies and healing modalities, to have conversations about love languages and attachment styles, or even about having certain conditions or simply things that just make our living experience different than other people around us. This is great. This is amazing. But when does this become too much? I think we need to separate society into two types of people. The people who are focused on self-development and people who are not. If you are the type of person that doesn't really care to heal or to overcome some of your behaviors, then this video might not be for you. Once you get into self-development, be it by doing therapy or anything else, I find that it's very easy in the beginning to get overwhelmed once you realize how much shit you're actually carrying. Because the truth is, we are our own biggest problem the majority of the time. And not because we want to be, but just because we are carrying all these things, all these ideas, all these beliefs that make our life harder. If you keep dating douchebags, it comes to a point where you really need to stop and look within yourself, because the world is not made up of douchebags, but something within you allows these people into your life, and it might be beneficial to figure out what that is. So you go back into your past, your childhood, where you learned what you learned, you visit old relationships, friendships, traumas, all of it. And after a while, you begin to walk a very fine line between actually healing or just staying stuck in a cycle. What I mean by this is, yes, you might have a lot of different things to deal with and overcome. Yes, your life might be better after you do all of this, but your life is still valuable as it is today with every single one of those things. The most common trap that I see, which I've also fallen victim of it a few times, is thinking you need to heal certain things in order to be better. Trying to heal by pushing yourself to heal already puts you in a lack mentality, because you're doing it out of thinking you are not good enough on your own, instead of doing it out of self-love, which is how this process should be. And it is a very sneaky way of thinking, because again, you might not be achieving your highest success because you have blocks around it, but keeping yourself stuck to the idea that you need to heal these blocks first and focusing solely on that is doing a disservice more than it is helping you. I've seen this a lot in ceremony spaces and intense spiritual experiences, especially around plant medicine. And this could be a whole video in itself. But what I started to observe in these spaces is that after a while, it becomes so normalized to be there regularly that you kind of start to lean back a little bit. You go to a ceremony, you do some healing, then you go home, you go into your normal life, and a month after, you are there again to go into another ceremony to heal the relationship with your mother. But then you heal the relationship with your mother and you realize you still need to heal the relationship with your father. And then it's your inner child, and then it's your childhood best friend, and the list goes on and on and on. Because let me tell you, if you are looking for things to heal in yourself, you are gonna find them. It doesn't really matter the amount of healing that you've done already or not, you are always gonna find more stuff that you should heal. I think the key here is acceptance. Accepting that you are on this path, accepting that you still have a long way to go, that you are not perfect, and that you're still gonna make many mistakes and fail over and over again. This mindset change helps a lot in itself, because it takes away the pressure to just heal one more thing so I can be done, and puts the responsibility back into your reality today. When I wanted to manifest a healthy relationship, I never even once thought about the blocks that I needed to heal in order to achieve that. I didn't even know the extent to which my blocks around love existed. I just knew that I needed to also love myself if I wanted to attract a healthy relationship, so I wouldn't settle for the breadcrumbs of someone else's attention. I never looked at it as, oh, I need to heal so I can be worthy this type of love. No, I just looked at it as a part of the process of me becoming the person that can actually hold a relationship like that. So if you're on a healing journey right now and this has been going on for quite some time, I want you to take a breath and to ask yourself, why am I doing this? We can use healing as an excuse to avoid doing the work and just hide behind the need to be better instead of actually taking the steps to get to where we want to in life. You also cannot expect healing to happen all at once. It goes step by step. It is a process, and a long one at that. And this takes us into our second trap, which is not taking relevant action. Whatever you are trying to heal, you are going to have to deal with it. It is as simple as that. If you have been a people pleaser your whole life and you are learning how not to be one, guess what? The first few times that you say no to something or to someone are going to make you extremely uncomfortable and are going to trigger the hell out of you. And that is also part of the process. Healing and the act of healing, it always goes hand in hand with you having to do something in order to actually heal. There is absolutely no point in you knowing all the fancy terminologies and knowing all of your behaviors if then you're not going to do anything about it. And it really is taking action that in the long term is going to put you closer to where you want to be. I think at this point with social media, we're also getting into a very weird territory of allowing our triggers to dictate our lives. And don't get me wrong, I think it is fantastic that my generation is having the guts and the possibility to speak their minds, to ask to be treated in a better, healthier way. But now we are starting to lean a little bit too much in the other direction. It is not the world's job to cater to your every need, want, or trigger. Every experience is valid, but because there's been an imbalance for so long in the expectations of society on how people should live their lives, that it's easy now to turn into everything into an attack. If I say I want to have kids, I'm not saying that people that don't want to have kids are horrible monsters. I'm just saying that in my life, kids make sense. And if that for some reason is triggering you, then that is a you problem. It's not an everyone else's problem. And I know that kids are a very charged topic currently, and I get it why sometimes people are triggered about it, but this is just an example. This is not to say that you should allow yourself to be put into toxic or dangerous situations. No, if that happens, really speak the hell up and advocate for yourself. But just pick your battles wisely and try to understand which situations trigger you because they make you uncomfortable, or which situations trigger you because they are crossing a boundary. And with all of this being said, the last point I want to make is integration, integration, integration. If you are healing, if you are on a healing journey, you need integration into your life. You need time to really integrate all the work that you have been doing. And this part is very messy, it's confusing, and it's long, but it is extremely necessary. Okay, so you learned that you have an anxious attachment style, but what does that truly mean? Can you see how that specific thing manifests into your life? The behaviors that you have, where that anxiety really shines through, how it affects your relationships with others. The key to self-development is observing yourself and keeping an open mind, noticing all the ways in which you are the stone in your own path and start taking accountability for it. If you are constantly healing one thing and then another, you can't have the space to breathe and appreciate the work that you have truly already done. Healing happens in small daily steps, and it is extremely easy to overlook them. If I ask you, think about the person that you were last week. Probably nothing major changed, right? But now think about the person you were a year ago or 5 years ago. I bet you a lot has changed. And let me say this, it is completely normal to move between these things and to lose control sometimes. That is a part of the process also. Maybe today you are in an integration phase, but after a while you go into hardcore healing mode and you get lost in it again. that is totally fine. Healing and life in general don't move in a circle, they move in a spiral. You need to keep the movement to go through different phases and stages in your life, to allow yourself to go at different speeds, and most important, to continue to live. Life is meant to be lived. Let me let you in on a little secret. You are going to continue healing for the rest of your life. You came to this life on planet Earth so you could experience all things possible, the good, the bad, and even the unremarkable. So enjoy it. You don't need to rush. You can take your time to look around and appreciate everything. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our chat today. Let me know in the comments below what are the takeaways from your journey so far. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I see you next time. Bye!